morning and welcome to Fox 29's News Now on this Wednesday morning. Here's a live shot of the Benjamin Franklin Parkway on this sunny, breezy Wednesday. We're going to get started with some local news this morning. In Delaware County, students in Radnor Township will be able to sleep in a little bit later soon. The school board just approved a new start time. Beginning next school year, classes at Radnor High School will begin at 8:30 a.m. That's 55 minutes later than normal. The decision comes after a multi-year study looking at students' sleep schedules and performance. They found that starting later gave students a leg up. Also in local news this morning, a preliminary hearing will be held today for the man accused of killing Nick Flacco, the son of Philadelphia Police Chief Inspector Chris Flacco. 19-year-old Tyquan Atkinson is facing 6 charges, including murder and criminal conspiracy. Officials say he shot and killed the 20-year-old in FDR Park back on March 30th in South Philadelphia. Atkinson is due in court at 9 o'clock this morning. And in the Capitol this week, former Vice President Joe Biden is expected to announce tomorrow that he's running for president again. The former vice president is the last major contender who is expected to enter the already crowded Democratic primary. The 76-year-old would be the most experienced politician in the race and the second oldest after 77-year-old Bernie Sanders. Already, supportive donors have been trying to raise money on his behalf. Fox's Doug Luzader joined Good Day this morning to discuss.
Whoa! It's good to be home.
That Russia and Putin are responsible for hacking the Democratic files in order to impact on the How in God's name to get someone of this prominence, this fame, and this capability to do this for me. And thank you very much. I want to personally thank you.
Again, it's my honor.
He's a late bloomer, but, you know.
Okay, let's get started.
And apologies for the video mix-up there. As we mentioned earlier, former Vice President Joe Biden will launch his 2020 presidential campaign on Thursday, according to a person familiar with his plans. The 76-year-old Democrat is scheduled to face voters in Pittsburgh on Monday, the person said, speaking on the condition of anonymity to discuss private conversations. Biden's decision answers the final major question of the early 2020 Democratic primary season, which now features more than 20 candidates. Given his high profile in U.S. politics, he will enter the race as a frontrunner. The largest firefighters union is preparing to formally endorse Biden this week, with group leaders saying they will be investing heavily in the former vice president's anticipated bid. The board of the International Association of Firefighters will meet this week to vote on the endorsement. They plan to announce it publicly early next week if Biden jumps in the race as planned. IAFF represents 316,000 full-time firefighters across the U.S. Harold Shapeberger, the union's general president, said the group will help Biden raise money. It will also launch an outside group that is expected to be able to raise and spend unlimited sums supporting his candidacy. I always remind everyone that we are everywhere. There is a blinking light or traffic light, Shapeberger said. We have infrastructure and capability, whether it's in the neighborhoods or whether it's working to develop caucus attendees in Iowa. Our union is very strongly resourced, and we will be investing. Biden is expected to travel to Pittsburgh on Monday to attend an event at a union hall, according to two people who requested anonymity to discuss scheduling. The former vice president is the last major contender who is expected to enter the crowded Democratic field. The 76-year-old would be the most experienced politician in the race and the second oldest after 77-year-old Bernie Sanders. Already, supportive donors have been trying to raise money on his behalf. One of the most recognizable names in politics, Biden served for 2 terms as Barack Obama's vice president after nearly 4 decades as a senator from Delaware. His high-profile working-class background and connection to the Obama years would help him enter the race as a frontrunner, though he faces questions about his age and whether his more moderate record fits with a party that has become more liberal. Biden spoke at an IAFF gathering in Washington last month. At the time, Shapeberger said the union would be all in for Biden if he ran. He also acknowledged that many rank-and-file members supported President Donald Trump in 2016. Biden, Shapeberger argued, is better positioned to win in the Midwest, which flocked to Trump, than other Democrats in the primary. And moving on to business news this morning, Coca-Cola is launching a new product infused with coffee. Fox Business's Tracy Carrasco joined Good Day this morning to discuss the move by the soda giant.
Ryan, Palmer, Mr. Producer, let's go clear. Let's go clear because it's television.
And you're so fancy. You're going to drink it out of a champagne glass?
So could you bring in Tracy here and have her tell us what's going on? I've got a Coca-Cola.
Yeah, and Tracy, we know that Coke, they launched all kinds of versions of Coke. You know, they have vanilla Coke, Coke with lime, Coke Zero, but this one we haven't heard of before.
Well, Coke wants to be your go-to for any sort of beverage, whatever it is you're looking for, especially if you're looking for a caffeine pick-me-up. So yesterday on their earnings call, they announced that they would be launching Coke Coffee. That would launch by the end of this year, yes, in 25 markets worldwide. And it has more caffeine than a regular Coca-Cola. So this is something, hey, if you're looking for that extra jolt of caffeine, maybe you need a mid-afternoon pick-me-up at work, this is what Coke is offering you. Maybe you don't want a soda. This is something to try out. I'm curious to know how it will taste. Will it taste more like coffee? Will it be like a soda?
Well, Tracy, you can't see this, but Mike just mixed his own version of Coke and coffee, and he has it in champagne flute.
Now, I don't know what the formula is. I went 50-50 on some of the worst coffee in the history of coffee that we have here.
Because it came from our cafeteria.
And how is it?
I don't know, and I don't like classic Coke. Now, you could use Diet Coke, I guess. Here we go.
Well, then this isn't going to go over well.
That's hideous.
Maybe they'll put more sugar in it or something.
And I don't know, again, I don't know what the percentage of
Right.
the formula is, the recipe.
Because we know, Tracy, they put coffee and energy drinks together. So why not coffee and Coke?
I'm sure they've got it figured out, the correct proportions to make it tasty. But interesting to know that Coke Coffee will be coming out sometime soon.
All right.
You know what's getting better?
Oh.
I think it might be a hit, actually.
How did you just do that complete reverse?
I don't know. It's not that bad.
Okay.
I think people will drink that.
But you're also a big coffee drinker. See, I'm not a coffee person. Now, if they come out with Coke and tea, maybe now we're talking.
Probably too. That's a good idea.
Coke and tea.
Coke tea.
All right. Well, thank you.
Maybe that's next.
Thanks. Trace, thanks. I'll see you again. In fact, we both will. Oh, by the way, it's Alex's birthday. Did they tell you in the control room?
Happy birthday, Alex.
Thank you. Thanks, Tracy.
When's your birthday, Trace?
Enjoy your day. It was on March 29th. Just passed.
Sorry.
Wait, did we say happy birthday to you?
I don't think we did. Well, happy birthday.
Ooh. Well, happy belated birthday.
No one knew. I didn't tell anybody.
Okay.
Thank
She's all
you.
secretive with it.
Now it's out.
And moving on to the Fox 29 Weather Authority. The Philadelphia area is slated for a sunny and pleasant Wednesday with mild temperatures. A slight dip from yesterday's nearly 80 degrees. Temperatures will reach a high of 70 on Wednesday. Partly cloudy skies this evening will become cloudy after midnight. Rain returns to the forecast on Thursday with early showers becoming a steady rain later in the day. The weekend is forecasted to be dry, however, with temperatures in the upper 60s. And if we take a look at current temperatures in the Northeast, we have, and more specifically in the Delaware Valley, we have 48 degrees in Mount Pocono, 60 degrees in Allentown, 60 in Lancaster, 64 degrees in Wilmington, 66 degrees in Dover, 67 in Wildwood, and 71 in Atlantic City. And looking ahead to your 7-day forecast, again, 72 is the expected high for Wednesday, sunny, breezy, and rain unfortunately returns to our forecast this Thursday and into Friday, which will affect the Phillies playing at home against the Miami Marlins. Late showers are expected Thursday, and showers and thunderstorms are expected Friday. The weekend, however, is looking pretty dry and comfortable. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 60s, sunny and nice for Saturday, and sun to some potential showers on Sunday. And don't forget to download the latest version of the Fox 29 Weather Authority app for the latest forecast right at your fingertips. And back to some interesting national news, you could call it, this morning. The brawling bunny who's gone viral on social media is wanted in New Jersey. So in fact, yes, we managed to find a local connection here. And he also has a rap sheet in Delaware, as well as Florida, where he became famous. That's Antoine McDonald, out of his bunny suit. He became popular over the last few days for standing up for a woman in a fight with a man in Orlando, but it turns out McDonald is a fugitive. Police in South Brunswick, New Jersey tweeted out his mugshot yesterday. They have an active warrant out for his arrest stemming from car burglaries last year. The Delaware State Attorney General's office says McDonald pleaded guilty to 2 armed robberies in 2017. And police in Florida arrested McDonald several times. And back here in Philadelphia, take a look at the guy in this surveillance video. Philadelphia police believe he sexually assaulted a 29-year-old woman back on March 13th. It happened on Kensington Avenue near East Glenwood Avenue in the Kensington neighborhood. Police say the suspect hit the woman in her face, and sexually assaulted her, then ran off. If you recognize him, police urge you to call Southwest Detective Headquarters. And in Montgomery County, police are sending a warning to bicyclists after a man was struck by a driver. Police say the bicyclist was in the wrong and is lucky he was not seriously injured. Cyclists must adhere to the rules of the road, the same as a motor vehicle operator, including riding with the flow of traffic, not against it, the department put out on Facebook. Also in Philadelphia, former Philadelphia Sheriff John Green has pleaded guilty to felony conspiracy charges.
Sheriff, do you have any comments?
He says he took bribes and personal benefits worth hundreds of thousands of dollars from Philadelphia businessman James Davis in exchange for lucrative contracts. As part of the deal, he could serve as long as 5 years in prison. His sentencing is slated for August 1st. Davis was sentenced to more than 10 years behind bars earlier this month for bribing Green and other related charges.
Did you say you apologize?
I apologize to you. I really can't say anything. Sorry.
And the latest on the Bill Cosby front, the comedian is fighting a major legal bill. A Los Angeles law firm allegedly billed Cosby about $1 million a month in the run-up to his first sex assault trial. Cosby accuses the firm of fraud, elder abuse, and egregious billing practices.
Mr. Cosby, any comments, sir? No.
And in Delaware County, after 110 years, an all-volunteer fire company is closing its doors for good. The Millbourne fire chief says the company has been having issues keeping enough volunteers on staff. The borough manager says contract negotiations ceased back in February without making any headway. And last night, Millbourne Fire officially voted to end its service.
How does it feel to hang up this coat after so many years?
Terrible. Terrible.
We've protected the community together, and we volunteered because we love it. There's no other reason for it.
The chief says they've already sold one of their fire trucks, and they're planning to donate a portion of their gear to other volunteer companies in need. If a fire breaks out, Millbourne Borough officials say they'll be covered by neighboring departments. And on Good Day this morning, the Boy Scouts are the latest organization facing widespread sexual misconduct allegations, and those allegations go back decades. As far back as the 1940s, defense attorney Shaka Johnson joined Good Day this morning to break down this shocking report.
Those stories you don't want to do. Can you have to do it, though, you know? Ugh.
You certainly do, because the Boy Scouts of America, they're the latest organization that's facing widespread sexual misconduct allegations.
And those allegations go back a long way, as far back as the 1940s. A pair of law firms revealed the allegations yesterday, holding news conferences in New York City and then also in Newark, New Jersey. Almost 200 people in those two states and more than 7,000 nationwide are accused, and the victims may total over 12,000 young men. The misconduct is reportedly part of the organization's so-called perversion files. Yeah, there was actually a file. It was called Perversion File, a nearly 15,000-page list created by the Scouts around 4 decades ago, detailing alleged abuse within their organization, and then the far-reaching efforts to cover it all up.
They have removed thousands of offenders of childhood sexual abuse over the years, and they've kept that in files secretly.
Which allow these people to then go on and coach soccer teams, allow them to go on and be teachers.
The Boy Scouts of America has released a statement saying they, quote, care deeply about all victims of child sex abuse, and at no time have we ever knowingly allowed a sexual predator to work with you.
Knowingly. Our defense attorney, defense attorney Shaka Johnson, yes. Not mine. Shaka, good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
So we've had rumblings of this for years and years.
Certainly have.
But why is it in the forefront now?
Well, you have to know this is the right climate for that.
Oh, true.
This is the proper climate. In the light of the Me Too movement, which sort of spearheaded all this,
Right.
and when you have things going on with R. Kelly, things going on with Michael Jackson, things going on with celebrities at large, you have the Archdiocese,
Right.
the Catholic Church. This is the proper time for attorneys to sort of galvanize and bring these sort of things to the forefront in a united front. See, since the 40s and 50s, like you just said, attorneys have been doing this sort of pot shot, one complainant at a time. One complaint at a time. Now they're looking at attacking the Boy Scouts of America as an entity nationwide at once.
Well, just to put up the map of New Jersey, all the different, instances. Look at that; it's just dotted. That's one state.
And this goes up to, what, 1940 to 2016, just a couple years ago.
That's correct. And this is why the attorneys are pulling together. They're sending out mass advertisements to get people in a groundswell, if you will, to pull everybody together to do one mass tort claim.
And that's also what I find interesting, just something about the fact that they're putting out these ads,
right,
trying to get all these people to respond to it. But do they just feel that they need to get more people in order to start changing things?
Listen, it has to feel a little bit seedy, right, to the average person to get these advertisements like calling for victims of sexual abuse to come forward.
But we do know they're out there.
But they are out there, and they need to be made aware that there is a movement ongoing, because everyone isn't tuning in this morning, like listening to us. Some people don't know that there's a movement that they can become a part of.
Right. But what about the statute of limitations? If this is really going back to 1940,
yes,
isn't that going to provide some issues here, especially depending on what state you're in?
It certainly will. And so states are moving forward in terms of changing their legislation. Here in Pennsylvania, we instituted the Minors Tolling Act, which takes the statute of limitations from what would typically be 20 years old for someone who was aggrieved as a minor and extends it 10 years to 30. So you have up until you're 30 years old to file a claim. You have up until your 50th birthday to bring forward charges for criminal prosecution.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm sitting here and I go, all right, this happened to me when I was a Boy Scout.
Yes.
And I haven't, I buried it. I just hadn't told anybody.
How old were you?
Let's say that it was 10.
Okay.
What do I do? Today, what do I do?
Today, well, I'm not suggesting that you're over 30, but you'd be out of time as it relates to a civil remedy, right? Because you have until you're 30 in Pennsylvania. But if you're under 50 years old, if you haven't yet reached your 50th birthday, you could ask the prosecutor. You could go down and ask Mr. Krasner to refer those charges.
How are you going to prove it?
Well, just like you prove anything else, right? You make allegations to start off with. You give a name, a place, a location where it happened, who might have been present, who you told at the time, your parents, other camp attendees. That's how you start.
Go to court.
Yes, and you go to court and you vet it out in court.
But really quickly, though, because I know we have to wrap this up, but when it comes to the Boy Scouts of America, they're talking about, they may not have money because there could be so many cases, especially based off of the numbers here and across the U.S. What if they file for bankruptcy? Do they still have to pay everyone?
Well, listen, that would really put some of these victims in a bad situation because their ability to recover would be significantly minimized.
Yeah. Just real quickly, we probably should put this up. You want to do?
Yes. The Boy Scouts of America has released a statement saying, quote, this is what I read earlier, that they care deeply about all victims, that at no time, they say, have we ever knowingly allowed a sexual predator to work with you?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we said that again. Shaka, thanks.
Thank you very much, guys.
Quick break.
And more on Good Day this morning. Keeping kids safe. For many, opioid addiction starts at home. An expert joined Good Day Philadelphia this morning with his tips for prevention.
You know about the opioid epidemic in this country, especially in our area. Well, this coming Saturday, is National Prescription Drug Take Back Day.
And this is especially important if you have high school age children in the house. The reason, well, many of them are actually abusing prescription drugs that they've taken from a family member.
That's right. That's right. Well, we're talking about pills they find in the medicine cabinet.
Or maybe someone's purse.
Or in a purse, exactly. Here to tell us more, Associate Medical Director of the Poison Control Center at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, CHOP, Dr. Robert Bassett. Dr. Bassett, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Just real quickly here, are most people still keeping their medicine in a medicine cabinet?
It's a good question. I have to admit that when I was preparing for this segment, I went and looked at mine, and yes, there's still medicine back there.
And that's what's so easy to find. I've heard people say, if you're going to have these powerful medications, maybe put them in a different room of the house and forget that medicine cabinet.
Yeah, that's a potentially a good recommendation for sure, Mike. I think the point that we want to try to make is that just having these in the house alone can potentially be dangerous, regardless of where you keep them. We know when it comes to prescription medications, it's always a risk-benefit ratio.
But what if you need them?
That's exactly right. So if you need to get the benefit, there's a therapeutic benefit. For sure, those benefits outweigh the potential risks. However, what if you get to the point where you no longer need those medicines? They're expired. You've completed that, that issue.
Get rid of them.
Get rid of them, leaving them in the house. And I want to tell you that this falls into the adage of you don't need to be a good player to be a good coach. That I noticed this last night. Like I said, I went back to my medicine as we were preparing for this segment, my cabinet, and I did find expired medication. So I know it's important for all of us to sort of take stock in this and go back and look and get these things out of the house.
But even when you're throwing it away, because if you think of it, the medicine cabinet's in the bathroom. Usually we have smaller trash cans in there. If you just throw it in the trash can, someone can just go in and pick it right back up, and boom, that's it.
Yeah.
So there's a safe way to make sure you're disposing of it.
Absolutely. And that's the purpose of this National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. It's really twofold in terms of its goals. First is to remind people of that problem. We lose track of that, and we don't recognize that potential figurative time bomb of leaving these medicines that can be toxic in the home. But the second, to your point, is to find a way to allow them to go in a convenient manner, drop off these medications. There will be disposal sites throughout this city. You can go online to find them, and it's a very convenient way to make sure that these are disposed of in a safe way.
Is this as simple as it sounds? You're going to have drop-off locations, like you just said. So I gather up my stuff. Why can't I just throw it down the toilet?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think what we know is that not all wastewater management systems are designed to remove all of the potential molecules, all the potential chemicals. There are a couple of exceptions, and I want to point this out, and I do want to be clear that the Centers for Disease Control, really, really smart people get together and sort of try to figure out the risk-benefit of these things as well. And one of the things that they know is that for the vast majority of medicines, it's much safer to not dump them down the toilet because of that issue that we just spoke of. But there are a couple of exceptions, and just like you alluded to when we started this segment, that we are in an opioid epidemic, and if there are medicines that are opiate class, those are some of the exceptions that we feel that the risk is so great to even leave them for one extra second in the home to just go ahead and put those down the toilet.
Let's look at these checklist of, Anyway, the most important thing is, where do I go to drop off my drugs Saturday?
Yes, great question. And I will tell you that they're scattered throughout the city. Most of the public health agencies are the ones that are going to be staffing these deposit sites. So it's mostly police departments, fire departments, that sort of stuff. But
what's the website I go to find out a location?
It is, perhaps the producers can put that up for us.
Throw it up if you have it. You know what I mean?
Or we'll put it on our website, fox29.com. People can go there and then get the more information so they can have everything they need to know.
But it is this Saturday.
It's absolutely this Saturday.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Good
I know the Take Back Day
Good
one is takebackday.dea.gov.
Right.
Yes.
So they may have some more information on that as well. But we'll have it on the website.
And more on Good Day this morning. We learned the joy of packing smarter, not harder. From saving space to Ziploc bag hacks, an expert reveals the best way to avoid the pain of packing for the whole family.
Yeah. Are you getting shorter? Oh,
yeah. I don't have my heels on right now.
Oh, is that what the deal is?
Here, I'll stand on my tippy toes. How about that?
Thank you very much. Look at the size of
It'll
my head.
work my calf muscles.
Anyway, let's take. Can you give me a wide shot here because Elisa Federico is here? And what we're going to do is see all the stuff on this table from way down there, all the way down, because summer vacations are coming up, right? Mm-hmm. She's going to cram all that into this bag that she says will fit in an overhead compartment on an airplane. Is that the concept?
Correct.
No way. All this is going to fit in this?
That's not possible.
Have room.
Nah.
That's not possible.
And you're going to have more room? Because you have to bring stuff back from the vacation sometimes.
All right, let's get a shot of inside the bag now. She's loaded a few items in here, and I've noticed you are a clothes roller.
Correct. So by rolling your clothes, you can save a lot more space. But before we even go there, the way that we are able to do this is by getting organized.
Okay.
You've got to plan. You go to the supermarket, what do? You make a list.
Sure.
That's how you bring the least amount of things that you actually need. People overpack. They get crazy. So you make a list by day, by event, what you might need.
Good Lord.
Great example is you have an all-white outfit. Mike, if you forgot white undergarments for your
Gotta
outfit.
have the Spanx.
Or nude. got to have your Spanx, obviously. So you want to plan for those things. I even say try on your outfit so you know what you're doing.
I do that.
Yes.
Why a plastic bag?
Okay, I'm going to get to that next.
Okay.
I love the plastic bags because it actually helps you compress space.
Really?
However, another space saver, because that's what we need to do, is limit the amount of shoes that you're bringing.
Yeah.
So I like to say make outfits that have one heel, one pool or beach shoe, and
Okay.
maybe even a flat.
Okay.
Okay. As we move into that, you see, I was talking about this before. Stuff
your
shoes.
Oh,
I do that all
with
the time.
Yes, or your belts.
Or
You can-
accessories?
Exactly. Anything that will fit into your shoes.
I don't do that. I need to do that.
Yes.
Chargers in there and everything else.
Well, I don't do my chargers,
Okay.
but so the next thing, getting back to this.
Don't you use your chargers like easy
To
access?
the
I have that in my
Ziploc
purse.
bags. Okay, I love the Ziploc
He's
bags
over us.
because he's over us.
That's fine.
What do you do when you put it in a bag? You can literally get all of the air out. I even go one step further and organize. I label them. So this is swim day 1.
Wow, that is organized.
I mean, listen. So here we go, moving right along.
Hurry.
Here's our rolled garments. You'll see. Start stacking them in.
Now, is this the Marie Kondo rolling method you use, or you just roll?
Sue and I were just talking about Marie Kondo. That's a different. You actually stack it. I prefer to roll.
Okay.
Next thing about packing is how to prevent wrinkles. I actually learned this from my father-in-law, of all
Really?
people, who travels all during the week. This is great, Mike. If you have a suit, if you take your dry cleaner bag, loosely fold, say your blazer, or you have a special garment that you really don't want to wrinkle, wrap it up in this. I swear, and then you want to add that. That'll be your last.
Even though you just loosely, you just leave that
Even
together.
though you loosely just folded it. Yep. Moving along down the suitcase packing, I like to say pack small bags, other pouches of things. I have this ready to go. This is all travel size and sample size.
Liquids?
Airport approved, exactly, all the liquids. So I've got pouches of pouches. This is actually how I even organize my regular bag. Like here's, Mike, for you, your tech accessories, so you know exactly where everything is.
Organized.
Okay, this is all my emergency kit. I've got all types of supplies in here.
Could you
for
show the
kids.
camera, not us? Is that possible?
I'm so sorry.
Good Lord.
I'm so sorry.
You've done television.
It's my first time on TV.
Yeah, I want you to move it around a little faster, too, so we can't see it. So you got all
He's
sorts-
so loving.
He is so loving. All of my toiletries ready to go. I never even unpack this unless I run out and then I refill it.
Okay, they're saying we have to wrap
Yep,
it up.
wrap it up. So we've got our
Got the-
pouches.
the electronics?
Got all this stuff. My jewelry's in a pouch. Now,
Let's go, Federico.
let's
Get
go.
it in there.
Here's my extra bag for dirty laundry. Pack that in there.
Sometimes I take the one from the hotel room. You know, the
Exactly,
laundry
you
bag.
can take that. And then another great idea is you wear one, if you're going on a plane, you wear one.
You forgot the shoes.
One outfit.
And then you layer that outfit.
One outfit on the plane.
Spanx. But do you layer that one outfit?
Yes, I
Okay.
layer that one
Like the
outfit
coat,
with my
the-
bulkiest item. So if you have a coat, whatever it is, you
That's
want to
what
put it
you're
on
wearing.
you and wear your sneakers. It's never been a better time.
Wait, you forgot something. Hold on. Also, maybe it's the suitcase. This suitcase is pretty great.
No, this. Everybody check back.
Let's go.
This is ridiculous. And then one more trick. Listen, layer your carry-on into your beach bag. You
I
now
like that
have
too.
one personal item. My
Wait, you
Spanx
gotta
are
zip
in
the
there.
top.
Okay.
Wait, at the top, it's all gonna fall out. Go.
All right, I gotta go.
Fell over.
Let's go.
Bye. We'll see you later. Thank you, Federico.
Bye, Mike.
Oh my.
He clearly has somewhere to be. Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Okay. Well, in other news.
Yeah, now I just need to go on a trip.
Yeah.
So, how about we go on a break? That's sort of a trip.
And thanks for joining Fox 29's News Now. We're moving now to Woodstock, where a search is taking place for a 5-year-old boy who went missing from Crystal Lake, Illinois last week. The last we heard, the boy's mother is not cooperating with police. Stay with us. And if you're just joining us, we are live over Woodstock, Illinois, where Crystal Lake Police and FBI officials are searching for a 5-year-old boy. He's been missing for nearly a week. AJ Freund. Parents reported that their son was missing last Thursday morning after putting him to bed the night before. Police released the 911 call of Andrew Freund Sr., where he says that he got home from a doctor's appointment between 8:15 and 8:30 a.m. that Thursday and went to check on AJ and wake him up, but he was not in his room or in the home. He tells the dispatcher that none of the home's doors or windows were open. Freund says in the call that he canvassed the neighborhood and checked a local park and gas station, but could not find the child. We've checked closets, the basement, the garage, everywhere, Freund told the dispatcher, adding that he had scoured the park, a nearby school, and a local gas station down where we sometimes take him to buy treats. The Department of Child Protective Services has had repeated contact with AJ's family since he was born, with opiates in his system in 2013. Andrew was described as 3'5", 70 pounds, with short blonde hair, according to police. He was last seen wearing a blue Mario sweatshirt and black sweatpants. He was also wearing green Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shoes, according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Okay. Previous reports from Fox 32 in Chicago say that the boy's mother was last not cooperating with police. Stay with us for the latest developments, as later this morning, police and FBI officials are expected to hold a press conference regarding the missing boy. And that is going to do it for us today at Fox 29's News Now. Catch us again tomorrow at the same time, same place, 10 a.m. And be sure to follow Fox 29 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the Fox29.com site. We'll see you soon.